You said you needed some help with something. What's going on?
Something's happened. Oh, a real mess. And I need help from someone reliable.
Я reliable.
When I was fishing around for information about Liechtenstein, I cast the net a bit too wide. And one of the servant girls I questioned was just found dead.
You think she was killed because of you?
I don't know. If I did, I wouldn't be asking you for help.
Я допоможу, але не за так. Я волів би не втручатись. Ні, я допоможу.
I'll help you.
Ми...
Tell me all about it. Who was this?
Катерині ми
Her
допомагаємо.
name was Alice. She was an ordinary, pretty girl. She worked as a maid. I heard they found her all hacked up, tossed somewhere by the town wall. Oh, folk in town are saying it was absolute slaughter. They took the body to the morgue by the St. Peter and St. Paul cemetery.
I'll go take a look at her. See if I can find anything.
I think that would be for the best. Though, I don't think it'll be a very pretty sight. You can ask the gravedigger for details. He'll know the most.
Коли ти востаннє її
When did
бачила?
you last see the girl?
Around a week.
And did you notice anything suspicious about her?
Not at all. She was... though, I'm afraid...
What was Alice trying to find out?
She always brought me the freshest gossip overheard from her master.
And did you learn anything important from her?
That's the thing. All she brought me was gossip. Who was cheap? So, you'll have to figure...
Мені здається, це просто якісь мені чела і порубав.
What about your other girls?
Yes, fortunately. That's why Alice's death
Do you think there could be something bigger behind the murder?
I don't know, but it's strange. Why would someone...
What are you going to do next?
I'd like to ask the others if they noticed anything suspicious.
But you don't want to scare...
I'm scared myself. Maybe nobody knows about them yet. And I can't risk that.
What if I go and see them?
They don't know you, Henry. I'll figure something out. In the meantime...
I know everything I know.
Good. In the meantime, I'll try to find out more. Then we'll put it all together.
Окей, пані.
Oh, well. Now just this.
Єдине, що нам треба зілля наварити, до речі, бо у нас ніфіга нема збережівок. А нам треба якось ігру зберігати. Стільки мене їх залишилось, до речі. 4 штуки. А на коню є трошки? І на коню нема. Вітаю, пане Грабар, а я можу з вами поспілкуватися? А я не можу з ним говорити, до речі.
Now they only ache when there's a storm coming.
That's handy, isn't it?
Так, десь в цій церкві, я так розумію, буде. Окей, зараз будемо перевіряти. Я можу не говорити?
What's the matter? Did you know her?
Alice. She was almost like a sister to me. We served together for years, in the same house. Why'd you ask? Who are you?
I'm trying to find out who did this to her. I'm afraid the killer might want to go after my friend as well.
Oh, I understand.
Who did you serve?
Our master is a local...
How did Alice get along with your master?
Fine. Our master is a bit strict.
What's his name?
Why? But you can't see him anyway.
It occurred to me that maybe he could have...
He couldn't. He was gone when it happened. He hadn't been home in several weeks. And besides, why would he kill them others too? He never even knew them.
О, бачите, я ж казав, що це
Haven't
якісь
heard. A few girls,
манічела.
like our Alice, died before. All
Місцевий
really
Джек
pretty
этот.
girls.
Джек the Ripper місцевий.
Do you know of any suitors she might have had?
I know she...
I'd like to talk to him.
But I don't know who it was. Alice said he was rich.
And you never saw him?
No. never.
Do you know what exactly happened to Alex?
Oh, one day she just didn't come home.
What do you mean? Like,
You haven't seen her yet.
I haven't.
Then don't. She was such a pretty girl. And it didn't even live.
What do you mean?
Who could have cut off?
So,
Угу. Її волосся обрізали. Окей, давайте подивимося її тіло.
so, let's see what we have here. My God. Someone really did a number on her. Oh, they ripped open her entire belly. And they didn't stop there. There must have been buckets of blood. Jesus Christ. There's hardly any blood left in her. The place they found her must look like a slaughterhouse. I should go there and take a look. Her lips are bloody, but nothing more. Tongue's still in place. But if he killed her for blabbing, I reckon he'd have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? These are more like chops than cuts. Somebody must have taken a sword to her. Knife wounds would be smaller, and an axe would have made a bigger mess. But it couldn't have been a long sword. That would have been clumsy. It was something shorter.
Ніж якийсь.
longer.
Або тисак.
God. That madman cut off
Whoa,
both her
damn.
breasts and bits of flesh. What did he do with it all afterwards? Did he really keep all the pieces? Nobody could be that sick, could they? Her face is a little bruised and cut, but nobody cut her there. But she has a dark ring around her neck. Was she strangled? The murderer must have had pretty strong hands, and her hair is all matted with blood and hacked off. Don't even know what colour it was.
Може, вбивця збирає трофеї, вбивця хотів, щоб вона страждала?
Maybe there's something more to it. What if the murderer kept her hair like some kind of sick trophy? Just some scratches and bruises, that's all.
Such a horrible thing. Why?
The killer probably surprised her. She didn't even have time to defend herself. So, the murderer must have awfully strong hands, because he strangled her and left a dark ring around her
Якийсь
neck.
мужик
Then
великий.
he took a short sword or saber and started hacking at her. She's missing parts of her torso. They are by the body. He also cut off most of her hair.
Навряд чи її вбили через Катерину.
Cut off her breasts, but left her tongue. Then left her lying there for all to see. To send a message, maybe? Or a warning? Only if it was a warning for telltales, he would have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? I don't know why he killed her, but I don't think it's because of Catherine.
Так. Гробар, що ти
Good
знаєш?
day to you.
You must be the local gravedigger.
That's right. They call me František. At
František.
least them that can speak do.
Я Генрі. Всі ми колись замовкнемо назавжди.
They too will fall silent someday.
True that. What can I do for you?
That dead girl you have in the morgue, Alice.
You've seen her? Poor thing. Who could have done such a thing?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Do you know anything about her?
She's gone to meet her maker. What more do you want to know? You want to take away a piece of her? Well, you can't. Not a hair off her head, a
Ні,
bloody
чувак,
scrap
чувак.
of cloth or a
Я
thumb.
просто
You
хочу
hear?
дізнатись, хто її...
I don't want to take anything. I need to find something out.
Like what exactly?
Who killed her?
Why?
Бо переймаю за подругу, мене послали сюди пан із Липи, я хочу справедливості. Окей.
I'm worried something might happen to my friend.
That's true. She wasn't the first, and we can only pray that she'll be the last. It's true that Lumiere ain't shown no interest in her yet. I wouldn't expect that from him no more.
Who's this Lumiere? Another one of those gawkers and collectors?
No, no.
На-
He actually tried to help.
Hell,
А ну-ка.
how?
То.
Well, he was
У нас місцевий
investigating
Шерлок
them
Холмс є.
others.
Right. You said she wasn't the first.
Aye. We had a couple of similar cases. Lumiere said they was all killed by the same murderer.
And how did he come to that conclusion?
How do I know? Best ask Lumiere
Де його
yourself.
можна знайти? Скільки
Do you
вбитих?
remember how many girls were killed?
You mean you don't know nothing about it? Here, even the sparrows are squawking about it.
I haven't been in Kuttenberg very long.
I see. There's been one every few weeks for the past year.
Скільки він їх вбив?
Do you know where the last one got killed?
I heard some talk about it when they brought her here. But what do you want to do there?
Look for clues. Footprints, blood, anything.
That can help you.
That's worth a try.
I heard she was killed by the town walls, close to the hole in the wall, a dodgy tavern in the Hoprink neighborhood.
Thanks. What's this Lumiere got to do with this?
Well, like I told you, he used to work for the bailiff. I think he was a scribe.
A scribe keeps records in the Black Chronicle. Though I've never heard of one doing his own investigations.
Well, the old bailiff wasn't all that interested in the common folk. But Lumiere, he was quite helpful. Folk heard about it and went to him with whatever was troubling them.
I'd like to speak with Lumiere. Do you know where I can find him?
At his home in Bohemia Street, that's near the church. You won't find him at the bailiff's no more. I don't know exactly why, though.
Дякую.
Thanks.
It's my pleasure, especially helping someone from the land of the living again. Actually, wait a mo. Speaking of the living, there's a girl what comes here and grieves over that dead maid. I think her name is Barbara.
I know. I've already spoken to her.
Aha. God be with you, good sir.
Окей. Мені подобається цей квест, надо... Цікаво виглядає. Пан священик, ви виходите, чи заходите, чи просто дивитесь на двері? Так.
My respect.
My respect, каже мені пані.
Afraid it'll go bad on you soon.
I know about this fella.
Ой-ой, чувак, що ти ригаєш? Тобі погано?
Lumiere?
Oh. Christ, my head. Not so loud.
I need to ask you something.
I said not so loud. I have a splitting headache.
That's some hangover. He's useless to me like this. Unless I'm willing to wait for him to sleep it off, I'll have to get him some kind of cure or potion. This should sober him. Here. Drink up.
На моє зілля. Протипохмільне.
Better?
What? Who? What are you doing here? Who are you?
My name is Henry.
And what do you want from me?
I'm trying to find out who killed a certain girl. And I was sent to you.
To me? What for?
Are you Lumiere from the Rat House? The scribe?
I used to be. Now I'm just Lumiere the madman.
Я не думаю, що ти.
Oh, you don't look crazy.
Yeah. But I am. I see things in my head that aren't real. And then I point my finger at the wrong people. I'm the
значить,
biggest madman in Kuttenberg.
But I need your help.
If I were you, lad, I'd leave it be. You can't help that girl anymore, anyway. You'll just end up hurting yourself.
Come now, Lumiere.
Poor girls. Nobody was all that interested in it, except for me. We let it be in the end. We let a monster walk among us. No way. You can't solve this yourself.
Ми мусимо зупинити ці вбивства, вбиті потребують правосуддя, я маю з нею проти правду. Ні, ми мусимо
I'm not
зупинити ці
doing it for
вбивства.
myself. I'm afraid he might kill one of my friends.
A friend, eh? That's not good. Not good at all. I searched high and low. And what did I get out of it? Just mockery. What makes you think you can find out more than I
Та
do?
я геній. Я вмію мислити. Я можу витягти правду з людей. Мене ніщо не зупинить. Я вмію мислити.
Because I'm not stupid, and I notice things.
Що зупинити?
I've successful solved a murder before.
Зупинити?
Is
Його?
that so? A murder investigation under your belt. And educated and observant, too.
Well, I said I'm not stupid. Not that I'm educated. I can read and write too. Sometimes even count.
If only more people knew the difference. All right. Talk to me. Who was this dead girl?
Her name was Alice. She worked as a maid.
A maid? That fits. Yarka was a maid too, as were most of the other victims. What did she look like? What did he do to her?
I think that he strangled her first, and then went at her with a longer blade and disemboweled her.
Did you notice the strangulation right away? It took me a while. Maybe you really will track him down.
Do you think it's the same murder?
Counting your girl, that makes
Jeez.
6 victims who were first strangled and then mutilated. If it's not all the same person, they must be collaborating somehow.
This is the 6th one. How long has he been killing?
Probably about a year now. Sometimes it takes him months, sometimes weeks. But I'm including missing girls, Stanya and Zdena.
Що було спільного у жертв? Чому ти враховуєш дівчат, які зникли?
Why are you counting the missing girls?
Because I think someone killed them, and we just haven't found them yet.
Did the dead girls have anything in common?
Aside from being pretty young girls with no proper family or background, no. I couldn't find much.
Do you think somebody is killing them because they're poor and nobody will miss them?
Certainly. If somebody killed the daughter of a local lord, no stone would be left unturned.
But why does he even kill in the first place?
I don't know. Maybe he hates women. Damn it. I feel like I'm going in circles and can't get out.
Що ти можеш розповісти
What can you
про
tell me
Ярку?
about Yarka?
She wasn't the first. But thanks to her, she was a maid in a German family. By all, she was orphaned as a child. The priest from the church, they found her body tossed behind a barn at the edge of town.
Did you have any suspects?
At first, I thought the son from that family did it. But then I changed my mind.
Why?
Well, for one, I remembered the two. Besides that, when I talked to the lad, he seemed he wasn't the least bit. And his mother told me that they threw her out a week before the murder because she was a harlot who stayed out till all hours. That really surprised me. Because Father Prokop, maybe he just didn't want to admit what had...
Я походу догадуюсь.
What about Stanya?
She
Якийсь
was an alehouse
пан
wench in a
притворяється,
tavern
що
that
він її
ill-repute
врятує.
a hole in the wall.
You said her
Вона,
body
типу,
was never found.
закохувалась в них,
Maybe she just
і
got out of
потім
town.
їх душею
You have no
вбивав.
idea how much I'd like to believe that. Unfortunately, the investigation wasn't very successful.
Did you suspect?
You could suspect every second man there. The innkeeper, Mole, definitely knew Stanya.
So if... And what about that Zdena?
Exactly. But to tell the truth, besides Alice, Zdena was the most recent victim.
But if her body was never found...
Because she was the same type as the other girls. Young, beautiful. A real... I never could pin it on her, though. She all...
Maybe she robbed the wrong people.
Maybe. She had a partner in crime, by the way. When I
Ага, у
asked
нас
him
всі,
about
це
Zdena,
в діру, до речі,
he
нас
told
веде.
me he'd rather rip his own...
Do you think he'd be more...
He might be. You're not known all over. Besides, it might still be fresh.
And what about the...
It all started with them, though nobody did much about it. She'd only been in town for a short while, and nobody... But the other one, Libushka, she said she was really cheerful and outgoing. She knew she was pretty, and knew she...
You mean she wanted...
That's what it sounded like. But
Interesting.
in the graveyard, lad, it's sad to say, but we can't help those two dead. There's nobody else left.
Окей.
Why were you looking into it?
I don't know what people told you about me, but Gutenberg is a big city with a lot of people. The bailiff was always running from hell to
Я трошки
Hades.
скіпаю діалогію, щоб
One rich
бо
man
дуже
to
довго
another.
будемо сидіти в них.
But there
Але
are
мені
more than
хочеться
just
вже
rich
якісь
burghers
деталі
and lords
виловити.
in the city.
Exactly. There are common folk too. So when one of them came to the bailiffs one time, and the bailiff was running around...
Behind the bailiff's...
Not really.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it.
Ти хтось підозрював?
Did you have any...
You can always find some. I always drag the most suspicious ones to the body in the morgue by force.
Couldn't it have just been...
Fainting? Vomiting?
Can you sum it all up?
We have 6 victims here. Unfortunately, of the remaining 4, the next was Stanya. They both hung around a tavern they called... And the last victim is what they all have in...
Чорняві.
Good.
When you learn something, you've aroused...
Так, окей. Все веде нас в діру. Нам точно треба подивитись в дірі. Тут про минуле ярки можна щось довідатись. У мене відчуття, що це буде великий доволі квест, судячи з того, як він починається. Так що, можливо, сьогодні не вийде пройти основний якийсь сюжет. Але мені цікаво цей квест. Вам цікавий квест знайти вбивцю? Чи просто йти якийсь основний сюжет виконувати? Мені просто здається, тут доволі дуже цікаві еті є. Побічні квести, і цей виглядає як доволі прикольним.
Father,
I don't have time for theater.
that's not why I'm here. My name's Hen. Someone killed and gutted a young maidservant and left her body.
Another one murdered. Why is it you are?
Ми мусимо спинити душогуба. Я боюсь за сестру, вона теж служниця. Ні, я хочу зупинити душогуба.
Somebody is murdering maids here. We have to put an end to
Нагородження
it.
укрстрімерів?
Yes.
А що за нагородження?
Those poor souls are already at God.
I don't want revenge. I want to stop more killing.
True enough.
One of the other victims was a girl named Yarka. What can you tell me about her?
About Yarka.
Where did you know Yarka from?
I knew her since...
And?
I mean...
Ага.
Who do you think killed...
William. That pig of Satan. He gambled. Yarka always went there.
Чому саме Вільям?
Why do you think it was William?
Evidence? He's a skirt chaser. A tool of Satan. He...
And does anyone else come?
No.
You raised her?
Yes. Unfortunately.
No offense, but how did you know what to do?
I was a bit, maybe...
Why do you think you were too hot?
Yarko was an orphan. Her only chance of a good life was that. The more I led her...
Вона жила з тобою?
How?
When she was small, I could.
You're well off, though.
I couldn't. Even
But how come?
the church's property.
How did she rebel?
She wouldn't listen.
Чекала.
She ran away.
Ганьба? Чувак.
Disgrace.
She was pregnant! Even if she had lived,
Вона була
what
вагітна.
then? Nobody would want to marry her anymore.
Why don't you respect...
That's... I won't tell you.
Але це важливо. Отче, допоможи християнину в нужді.
Come now. I'm not just asking out of curiosity. Isn't it written in scripture? Speak up for those who have no voice.
A layman quotes the Bible to me.
Ukrainian Stream Awards 2024 треба.
Lumia.
Так це ж він робить
Yes.
просто.
He slandered me in public.
And how...
It turned out he was deranged.
Я, може
How could
потім
he
якось
even think
передивитися,
such a thing?
типа, щось,
He's
але сьогодні
finished
хочу
in
пограти.
Kuttenberg.
I've heard enough, Father.
Son, I'll give you...
Понятно. Коротше, вона була вагітна, можливо... Вбивця її до того, мало контакт. Але не факт. Так, я тут мав віддати по квесту те, що ми виконали.
I brought you the axe.
Not so loud! Did anyone...
What are you afraid of? How could anyone tell that that missing...
Well, in one like that, here's the coin. And you know what? Try and stop by and see... Thank you, Henry. Till we meet again.
Так, що у нас найближче з того всього? Нам треба було місто оглянути, до речі. Тут тільки є дві этот. Все нас веде в цю корчму. А чо кінь сам іде? Прикол.
Nice and slow.
Whoa!
Вітаю
You're
тебе.
new here, aren't you? Has Chenyet talked the head off you already?
We spoke.
I'll give you some good advice to start with. Don't listen to it's just bullshit. By the way, they call me Knuckles.
It sounded pretty convincing to me.
Aye. Chenyet can sweet talk people like no other. I mean, Chenyet talks about sharing stuff fairly and how we don't do it for the money. But you know what? It's horseshit. It's every man for himself down here, even if they say otherwise. And Chenyet just gives it such a nice polish.
Are you saying he lied to me?
More like, he didn't tell you the whole truth. I heard from friends that Sigismund has a bottle of very fine wine somewhere in his warehouse. The kind of wine that you don't often see in these parts. I have a buyer for it. So if you bring it to me...
Мене покупець, якщо потримаєш пляшкою.
That sounds reasonable.
I knew we'd get along. The wine is in a warehouse. If you find it and bring it to me, I'll give... So think about it. The buyer I got is particular.
I'll look for it. Chenyek said you could give me some gear too.
All that talk about equality. But when it comes to lockpicks, here's something you might find useful.
Thank you.
Careful!
Так.
What can I do?
Шарка тут працювала.
Did Estanya work here?
Stanya. Maybe. It depends on who's asking.
My name's Henry.
Names don't interest me. The main thing is whether it's a good guest or a bad guest asking. What kind of guest are you, Henry?
Добрий гість.
I'm a good guest.
Really? Let's see. Do you know how to recognize a good guest?
У нього є гроші.
By whether he's got coin.
Aye. No coin, no wine. As a wise man once said, I like talking to folks with coin. A lot. So,
What if I simply paid you and you tell me what I want to know? I want to know if Stanya worked here.
she did. And she...
I heard she disappeared without a trace.
It's possible. The chamber she was asleep, the door open. Everything emptied out.
Here we are.
Tell me something else.
First, you'll have another beer.
What?
If I prefer to be called so.
I don't want to pay you any more. I think you could answer my questions directly and not always try to wing. That makes it look like you might have some motive for keeping me from finding out anything about that murder.
Nonsense. How could you ask me anything you...
Did anybody see...
No, it was at night. The tavern tends to be empty at that hour.
What was Stanya like?
A bold woman. One has to be here. Everyone, she was hanging around a bard for a while.
Музика.
I don't know how close they were, but
Someone from the city?
no. A charcoal bird. I think his name was Barton?
What do you know about that?
What about him? He's a minstrel. He called himself William. As far as I know, he plays in the mine.
You think he might have...
Now that you mention it, he cleared out of town for a while. I know he met with some odd people. Besides, you know what minstrels are like.
Or in this case, apart from those men, I mean...
Well, I got bad news for you. She had...
Why?
One was hit by a cart, even before Stanya disappeared, and the other one got...
How did Stanya...
The door was wide open.
Blood?
Not so much, really. More like if someone done her in.
Where can I find...
I already told you.
Could you be a bit more...
I don't know that bloke at all, so if I was you, I'd...
That's all I need to know.
Окей. Ми дізналися.
Christ, it's hot
It
out.
happens.
Just watch where you're going.
Вітаю, пане.
Are you Sternad?
Who the fuck are you?
Just an ordinary bloke.
Well, then piss off. All you're gonna get here.
Why so rash? Let's make a deal. You tell me everything you know about Zdena.
Ah. You're the Lord. What, that whore?
So, if I understand correct...
For the right price, I'll
Is this the right price?
fucking bet it is.
Where can I find...
Aye. That's what I like to fuck.
Yeah.
I can well imagine. Well, she went to rap. She had some unfinished business with some
Barilla.
bloke called Hunt.
Did she have any friends or lovers who'd know more?
Who come to see that bitch? She was always off.
Someone came to see her.
Well, aye. Some stuffed frog came here. He said he had some job for her. But he left empty-handed.
Do you know who that priest was?
Some fucking Prokop or... But that reminds me. I saw her a couple of times with another
Вілемом.
bastard.
Опять Вілем.
Fucking bard, William.
Ага. Уже двоє.
And could she have run away with this?
With that, well, he ain't been seen in... He still don't come here no more.
What do you know about the...
Not much. Seems they knew each other, but she was.
And did he go?
Aye, indeed. He didn't look like... I think he just told her if...
And could she have changed her mind and gone to him?
No, no.
What can you tell me?
What do you want to hear? I tried...
So you were taking...
Well, just in front of the others.
So you weren't too...
Not really, no.
I've heard enough.
Окей, двоє вказали на цього музику. Вілмема, или як його. Я Вілмема, напевно, наостанок закінчу, а спочатку ми підемо ось сюди і сюди. Є підозрюваний. Музика. Дві жертви були з цією музикою, сказали. Ну, не факт, що ще жертви, типу, вони просто зникли безвісті. Де мій кінь? Я до нього піду в кінці, того що я не хочу його спугнути. Мені здається, що його вартує в кінці допитати. Тому ми просто поки відправимося в этот.
Quick. Go.
Собор Святої Варвари.
Go.
Прикольно виглядає. Так, коли ми не в місті, краще одягати обладунки. щоб нас, якщо розбійники нас спіймають, ми були б відразу в обладунки, бо під час бою ми не можемо змінити їх, і це... може нам вилити, не перелад кидати. Так, майже доскакали. Десь тут має бути. Вітаю, пане.
I'm looking for someone named Stanya.
You're in a charcoal camp, fella. What would a woman be doing here?
But you know Stanya, don't you?
Aye. You could say that. Why?
I'm looking for the killer of a girl in town. And I heard that someone also tried to kill this Stanya.
That's true. She told me something like that. But that was a long time ago.
So you don't know what became of her?
I really don't know, mate. But even if I did know, how can I be sure you aren't that killer?
Я б не став би про неї розпитувати, Леопольд доручив мені це.
Lumir himself, the Kuttenberg bailiff's former scribe, gave me the task. He was looking into her disappearance, and he sent me to find her.
Well, I don't know. I remember Lumir. He was all right. That's all true, but...
But what? What are you still brooding over?
You seem like the right man for a job like that. Sorry, but after all that happened to Stanya, I like to be
Що з нею
careful.
трапилось?
So Stanya is here?
Aye. She's hiding with us. Since that thing happened, she's
вона
afraid
жива.
to even go outside. I don't know what to do with her anymore.
Can I speak to her?
If it'll help you. She's hiding in that cottage, but be nice to her. She's in a bad way. She used to be such a gutsy girl. Till we meet again.
Бачите, хтось вижив. Тобто на неї напали, але не змогли вбити.
Who are you? How did you find me? If you came here to finish what you
Вона не
started,
бачила.
I'm not afraid of you. I'll
Вона не бачила,
I'll
хто на
claw
неї
your
напав.
eyes out.
Don't be afraid. Barton told me where to find you.
Barton sent you to me. What do you want from me?
Lumir thought you were dead. I was supposed to find out what happened to you.
Lumir? From the rat house? He sent you.
Exactly. Someone killed a girl in Kuttenberg. Lumir thought it might be connected with you, so maybe you could help us find out who did it.
How can I help you when I haven't been in Kuttenberg since... I don't even know when.
Чому ти втекла?
You disappeared from the hole in the wall without saying goodbye. Without a word. What happened?
Someone attacked me when I was coming home from the baths one night. I managed to get away, but I was so afraid. I decided to run away from Kuttenberg.
Did you see who it was?
Not at all. I didn't see anything until he jumped out of the shadows and grabbed me around the neck. And he was terribly strong. I nearly blacked out right away.
And how did you manage to break free?
I had an empty pitcher in my hand, and I hit him with it. He howled and let me go, and I ran away.
Here? To the charcoal burners?
No, first to my room in the hole. I was so scared there. I took what I could and ran. Here, to Barton.
And your lover? What did he say?
At first he was horrified, because I had cut myself on a shard from the pitcher and was all bloody. He's been hiding me here since then.
You walked home from the baths at night?
What's so odd about that?
Well, at night, the baths are...
Ah, right. I went there after closing. I always brought the girls a pitcher of wine or ale, and...
Ah. So that...
Right. I went there...
The same way every time?
Aye, always the same way.
And who knew that you went by your...
Well, everyone.
What was it like working in the hole?
Цікаво.
Well, I earned a few groschen.
How so?
Every single day I had to put up with their lewd remarks. Rich old people, well, us especially in a place, but you can't overdo it either.
How so?
Because if you smile at them nicely, you have to keep a balance.
You said that rich or poor are the...
Truth be told, the whole isn't exactly a...
Is that so?
He smiled at me a lot, so I smiled back. Then this thieving wench started hanging around him and... Oh, it doesn't matter. But that servant of his didn't like it. Tried to drive her away.
Von Groller had a servant with him.
Aye, a pudgy fella. Well, he never said a word or smiled.
Why didn't you go back to the hole?
Just... I'm never...
Do you remember anything important about...
I don't know anything.
And what about when you hit him?
He let me go.
Uh-huh. And what did he...
He said Scheisse.
Німець.
In German.
Seems you're the only one to survive the... I know it isn't easy for you to think about it. Or when you were running away.
I don't know.
You were walking down the street.
No.
You didn't see anything, or...
Actually, I knew the side street wasn't empty. I heard somebody talking. But when I looked, there was nobody there. So when somebody grabbed me, I completely froze.
Did you understand what they were talking about?
Not at all. But there were two voices.
It's difficult, I understand. But I need you to think hard one more time. Aside from those voices and the empty street, what else do you remember?
I didn't hear him at all. And then he grabbed me.
And nothing else?
Well, no. He grabbed me by the throat right away and squeezed. Just for a moment. But I still had a... Barton said the man must have had a terribly strong grip.
Гірника чи мечника.
I heard William liked pretending to be a...
Aye, I thought it pretty silly. A stupid trick, though. I reckon he's more likely to attract...
Couldn't it have been that innkeeper then?
Aye, when he drinks, he turns into a total boss. Only when I got to my room, I could hear him...
Couldn't it have been Father...
Father Prokop?
Oh, he's pretty old.
I don't know him. And
How are you now?
I can't... I'm sorry,
Oh, you don't need to apologize.
Thank you.
If it's in my power.
When you catch that bastard...
I'll stop by if I...
Окей.
Farewell, my friend.
Так. Ага. Сюди ще, да? Про крадійку надо. Молодий пан Грімел, бо біля нього теж була ця крадійка, яка зникла. Він німець, скоріш за все. І сильний хват.
Quick. Quick. Quick.
Але походу не музикант. Походу не музикант. Ну не факт, конечно. Надо більше деталей.
Quick. Quick. Quick.
довго навіть ще до того місця? Ні, майже. Майже. До речі, тут є прання. Можемо виперемо речі. Виперемо речі.
Christ, pardon me.
Поки ми тут.
You have a kind master, eh, doggy?
Млинар. Вона мені каже тут. Може чуть-чуть далі треба пройтись. Ага, я понял, куда.
Good afternoon.
Are you Pine?
I am. Why?
I'm looking for his dinner.
I don't know any Stenner.
Stonard said something different.
You're a friend of Sternard's, are you?
Я не дуже добре.
Actually, I don't really know him that well. He's the only one I know who knew Denner. And he sent me to you.
Well, if he told you that, I reckon it's all right. He's not much of a traitorous rat, I reckon.
I wouldn't entirely count on that. So you knew Denner? Can you tell me something about her?
I know Stenner all right, but she ain't been here in some time. Why are you looking for her? What do you want from her?
I'm looking for a... Back in the city, they think she's either dead or run off somewhere. And you're the last person to see her before she went missing.
Whatever.
I heard she wanted to sell you some valuables. Is that true?
Oh, aye. She had a good haul. No rubbish. Mostly
Печатка
jewels,
з гербом.
rings, one signet ring with a coat of arms and everything. She left it all here. I paid her a pretty sum of coin. It was a good thing she had a basket with her. Otherwise, she couldn't have carried it all.
And what about that signet ring? Do you still have it?
She didn't sell me the ring. She wanted to keep it. Said it'd bring her luck someday.
Що це був за перстень?
Do you know what kind of luck she meant? Did you recognize the signet on the ring?
No, I didn't recognize that signet. But all the while, Stenner was giggling to herself. I reckon she had her eye on another mark.
What can you tell me about Zdenna?
She always had it hard. She lost her parents and her home as a child.
And what about Sternard?
Sternard was her guardian angel, as she used to say. If she hadn't been thieving with him, she probably would have ended up a whore. But by sharing with him, that's because... That's why she'd come to me with her loot. And the last time she was here, she said one more haul like this, and she'll be able to...
Where did she go next from here?
That she did. She also had...
Someone followed her on a horse from Kuttenberg.
She didn't. At first, she thought it was some wealthy lord out for a ride.
And did you see him?
No. But then she even left her scarf here and paid some girl to walk around with it to make it look like...
And then where'd she go?
She wanted to go the back way. Through the past the woods is a road and a ford across a stream.
Well, if it leads back to the road and there was really someone following her, I reckon if they...
Fuck! I made a point of looking, but I didn't see it.
Is Dennis Scott?
Aye. I wanted to...
Will you give it to me?
All the same to me. Here you go.
And could it have been...
What do I know?
I heard he wanted to...
I don't know.
And could it have been William?
Who would that be?
He's this bard she was seeing.
I don't know about that.
Well, I'll go...
I hope you don't. Take
Так,
care.
окей. Нам треба сюди і там дати рябку понюхати її шар. Ну і він знайде її пиво, напевно.
Quick.
Так, а що в мене по їжі, до речі?
be that
Ого, кров.
Let's take a look around here.
Кров. Так, крепко, йди сюди. Мені треба твоя допомога.
Mart!
Track.
Тут.
Come here, boy.
Її закопали? А, ні. Ой-ой-ой, пані.
Poor thing. She didn't get very far. Ugh. She's been lying here a long time. At first glance, this body isn't as mutilated as the others. Unfortunately, I can't tell if somebody strangled her like the others. She's been lying here too long for that, but her head is smashed in. Either the murderer hit her with a rock, or gashed her hard. She must have put up a fight. Or maybe he lost his patience.
Ну точно не жива.
Oh, she's all stuck to her clothes. They're torn up, but I don't see any cuts. The rips are odd. Like someone was looking for something.
Да, шукав перстень, напевно.
Oh, I can't make much out by now. But it seems as if the fingers on her right hand are broken. Did the murderer torture her? Or was he Oh, my God. Oh, something fell out of her. A signet ring. Oh, that must be the one she stole. But how did it get inside her? Did she swallow it herself? Or did the murderer shove it in there?
Oh,
Was she trying to hide it? Or was it punishment for stealing? Well, that's enough. I'd say she put up a decent fight, and the killer had to him. That's about all I can find out. But that ring is a good lead.
Ну, можливо, цей перстень дамо потім рябку. Пішли до Вільяма. Ну, зараз подивимося, що ця музика нам розкаже.
You've no business here.
Це випадково. Я думав, це корчма. А я не в корчму зайшов. Де ця корчма?
You won't believe this. A whole village burnt to the ground.
Як мені потрапити до тієї корчми? О, до речі, в мене гроші.
Gepriesen sei der Herr. What do you need?
Але він ще не може дати мені цей.
Organizing another collection for repairs to the fortifications.
Are they out of their bloody minds?
They had to.
Ви бачили, як Рябко запригнув?
There are still holes in the walls. That's true. But what good are fortifications?
Рябко, ти куди? Що ти знайшов?
You silly doggy.
Та ні, там нічого нема. О, вот музикант цей.
It's William, right? I need...
What is it? Do we know each other? Do I owe you money?
My name's Henry. And no, we don't know each other. We have a lot of mutual friends.
What? What do you want of me? I don't have to talk to you.
Важко. Я тоді поговорю з вартою. Легко. Якщо хочеш іще колись на лютні заграти, то говори. Давай.
You don't need to. I can go and chat with the guards instead. Tell them you're the one hurting those girls.
What? I don't have anything to do with any girls.
Really? You? A notorious skirt chaser? Do you think anyone will believe you?
I just got back to the city. I don't know what you're trying to pin on me, but whatever it is, I didn't do it.
But everyone remembers you. You better spit it out before someone points the finger at you.
Come on. All right then. Ask away.
Did you know Alice?
I know a lot of Alice's. You have to be more specific.
The one they found dead somewhere below the town walls.
Oh, her. I didn't know her, but I heard about it.
I heard she used to go to dances.
Yeah, and? I'm not the only musician in the city. I really didn't know her.
They say she had a rich young suitor. Do you know anything about that?
Me? Do I look rich to you? I get paid in food.
But you could at least pass yourself off as wealthy.
Or I could claim to be the Virgin Mary, but I doubt anyone...
And did you ever meet Yarka? It was a long time ago, but I heard she used to hang around you a lot.
Oh, that one. Aye, she was very keen on my company for a while, but then she stopped coming.
Because somebody killed her?
I know what happened was a tragedy, but it wasn't my fault. She stopped talking to me long before that. Honest.
And did you know she was pregnant?
What? Yarka was... That's horrible. Who would kill a pregnant woman?
That's what I'd like to find out. What about the unwilling father-to-be? It wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
What? Mine? I never even got under her skirt.
And can you tell me anything else?
I don't know anything. It was a long...
And I hear you knew Stanya.
Which one do you mean?
The alehouse wench from the hole.
Well, she batted her eyes at me a couple of times when I was still playing there. A nice girl, but...
The innkeeper Mole told me a different story.
Fine, we had a bit of fun together. But she was always the one who started it.
Before she gave you the boot for an ordinary charcoal burner.
That's not true. She'd been seeing that charcoal burner long before she met me.
And you didn't mind?
Why should I? I didn't want to marry her.
So what did you want from her then?
You're yanking my pizzle, right? Of course I wanted to fuck her, but no, we never got around to it.
Закинути в неї вудку свою, каже. Okay.
Someone wanted to kill her.
What? Her? Yeah, but... What does that have to do with me?
And what about Zdena?
Do I know Zdena? As wild as the wind and always full of life. And those nimble fingers.
Did she steal something?
A traveling minstrel doesn't have much to steal, but she was well aware of that.
Well,
they caught her. I told her she'd be better off.
Worse. Someone killed her. It's been a while now.
So her too?
I'm afraid so.
Thanks. Though it should have occurred to...
You don't happen to know who she wanted to rob?
There were lots. Anyone she thought was like young von Groller. When he started coming here, she got to him right away. Said she...
And might she have stolen a ring?
I don't know. I had to... Look, why are you asking me? You don't seriously think I killed her, do you?
Well, you did know them all.
And? I'm surely not the only...
That may be true. But everybody knows you're it. And now...
But I had nothing to...
So you didn't do anything?
No! Why would I? What would I get out of...
You dare invoke God?
I admit, I'm no saint, but for Christ...
I don't believe a word you say, and I'll...
You're out of your mind! I didn't do nothing to...
come on. Pull yourself together and stop squirming. Are you a man or a worm?
What do you want from me?
Give me your hand and swear that you didn't kill them.
I swear that I didn't hurt any of those girls or kill them. Ow! Not so hard, damn it. You're crushing my fingers.
I didn't mean to. I thought you were stronger. But I believe you're not lying.
Ми перевірили, настільки у нього сильний хват. Нам треба якийсь чувак. З перснем. Може Леопольд знає, хто такий цей Гролд, або як його там.
I found out some interesting things about those murders. Just like you said.
That's wonderful news. But wait a while. I promised Catherine we'd wait for her.
You know Catherine?
She came to see me soon after you did, and started asking me questions. Just like you.
Will you send for her? So, we're all here.
I hope nobody else shows up. How did it go?
I reckon I've found out all I can.
And do you know who the murderer is?
Not exactly, but I have a few ideas.
I've asked around a bit, and I have my own suspicions.
Is that so? See, I was trying to recall some more details, and I had someone come to mind as well.
Oh, I didn't do all this for nothing, did I?
Well,
Well, who do you suspect now?
Well, I'd say William did it. The minstrel.
You can't be serious. He's innocent.
Uh-huh. And who do you think it was?
Prokop. I'm sure of it.
No. Really? That's impossible. It couldn't have been him.
So I see we disagree. Too bad. We could have been done with it quickly.
Well, who do you think it was then?
I'm not entirely sure. First, I'll tell you what I found out, and then it might be easier for us.
Go on then. Starting with who?
Let's talk about Yarka, the one raised by Father Prokop.
What did you learn about her?
Prokop didn't just raise her out of the goodness of his heart. He was actually her uncle.
Really? But he still could have killed her.
His own relative?
Why not? He's a priest. I'm sure he...
Prokop also admitted that he didn't know how to handle her, and perhaps he was too strict.
What do you expect from a Bible thumper?
Well, maybe I wouldn't hold it against him. He really tried to make sure she was well taken care of.
And did you learn who he found?
No. I think it fell apart when... Yarka started working for the von Groller family, where she remained until her death.
I was there to ask whether she'd given them any trouble, but they...
so what's the story?
A very wealthy... the mother is quite devout, known to spend a lot of time in prayer.
So, who...
That would be young Hendel.
Hendel.
They say he's quite successful.
Before her death...
There's nothing wrong or surprising.
Maybe. Prokop was convinced...
That doesn't mean...
Means she had some relation...
And now, most importantly...
I didn't know.
To make it impossible to tell she was pregnant.
May God forgive us.
Do you know who she was pregnant with?
She didn't tell Prokop.
It had to be someone from those...
Prokop is convinced that she...
I heard the daughters of important men come to see him.
Really? But I...
What? Why?
It doesn't matter.
And were you?
I don't think so. But he's a skirt chaser.
Perhaps. But why would...
But then he could never come...
Why not? He could come back a year later, once things have died down.
I suppose that's all I was able to...
You still found out more?
But it's not enough.
But we can agree that she was killed because of her pregnancy.
Agreed. Somebody got rid of her.
I'm sure William wanted...
William isn't the only man with a prick.
Such language.
Робити дітей і вбивати – це не одне й те ж.
That making babies and murdering...
But who would it be if...
Someone who stood to lose something because of the child.
Freedom?
I managed to find Stanya.
Alive?
I did. Alive.
So,
She is. She just managed to... She said she was attacked on her way home from the baths. But when she walked by, someone grabbed...
and how did she manage to get away?
She was holding an empty pitcher, and she smashed the kid.
Did she get a look at him?
No, she didn't stop to find out.
And what about the blood in the bed?
She cut her hand on the broken pitcher. She didn't stay in her room for long. She was still... She said she returned from the baths in the evening.
You mean someone followed?
Who knew that she went...
Apparently, everyone in the tavern. She also said she was sure it wasn't Mole. According to Stanya, the murderer had a terror...
Doesn't almost every man...
Depending on what they take in hand.
Except none of our suspects are minors or black. According to Stanya,
That's strange, right?
the only word he uttered was when she smashed him in the face.
So, we're looking for...
Even I say shies or something.
Besides that, she also recalled...
So we have a witness.
or an accomplice. If I remember correctly, the other one must have seen...
I asked Stanya if she knew Proc...
Maybe she just doesn't remember him.
I don't think Father Prokop is the type to frequent the work.
Stanya admitted that she knows William. He flirted with her.
And that's probably why I wanted to...
Perhaps, but Stanya doesn't think so. She's sure it wasn't William, and that's all that Stanya told me.
I'm so glad they're good.
Me too. At least someone's had a little...
I don't think she'll come back. She's so scared now, though. I managed to find Zdena.
You found her? Is she alive too?
No. Unfortunately, she's dead.
And where did you find her?
Ну,
Pretty far away. Near the mill she used to sell things at. Someone caught her in the forest when she was coming home with a load of coin.
я думаю, це цей
I reckon
этот,
she put up a hell of a
молодий
fight.
пан.
So the killer got nervous and ended things quickly.
So he didn't strangle or mutilate her.
She'd been lying in the woods for a long time, so I couldn't really tell. But he definitely didn't hack her up like the others. Judging by what her accomplice said, she robbed someone good. And what's odd is when she was murdered, the killer left her back.
So I reckon he did...
She said someone followed her on horseback from Kuttenberg. She tried to lose him, but
On horseback?
only as a wealthy type who never got too...
that doesn't fit.
Father Prokop came looking for Zdena, and
What did he have in...
he had also looked after her. But unlike Yarka, she ended up on the... Zdena tried to rob young von Grolle.
Von Grolle? Yup.
that whole...
Assumptions.
I'd say it's pretty obvious.
They just left the ring by her body?
It wasn't by her body. It was inside of it. I don't know if she swallowed...
Ah, that's awful.
My mouth is...
So am I.
Come now, we're nearly there.
I suspect one of the von Grolles.
What leads you to think that?
Are you sure it wasn't William?
Ярка в них служила, Здена обікрала Грола, Здену переслідував вершник, Ярка носила дитину від молодого Гроли.
Yarka was their maidservant.
Yes.
Perhaps the young lord?
That's possible.
Alice had a young and wealthy suitor.
True.
Yarka was pregnant. And if the father was...
Sakura.
But William could have fucked her too.
Zdena was followed by someone on a horse. Von Grolle could afford a horse.
That's not so sure, is it?
But it certainly worsens the...
Zdena robbed von Grolle.
That's true.
It's all come...
And that's all I can pin on it.
So, do we...
Well, old Von Grolle can't do much.
So do we really agree that our most likely suspect...
Aye.
I don't have a problem with it. Little rich boys are capable of anything.
They'll just laugh at us without some...
So, you want us...
There's nothing else we can do.
We have to find some evidence. None of our conjecture...
You could sneak in there.
Or break in.
Catherine, that's not necessary. The young lad wants to learn swordsmanship, and the old one is sick and always calling for a physician.
So I can either pretend to be a sawbones or a swordsman, or...
You're a clever lad.
Що ми? Притворяємося кимось, чи просто вночі до нього підемо? До цієї сім'ї Ван Грола. Да, я можу притворитись кимось. Нічого, ми, типу, нам треба отримати, піти до Ван Грола і знайти якісь докази, що це саме він був, типу, молодий пан.
You've come to train the young monkeys. Come in. Go into the courtyard. You'll have more than enough room. Farewell.
От той виграв дебют року, як той, хто вперше стрімив у 2024-му.
I must admit that I didn't expect anyone so soon. Master Menhard said I'd have to wait a while for my lessons.
Well, that's true. But we had an opening, and Master Menhard immediately thought of you.
But of course. That's good. It doesn't matter. I'm actually glad it turned out like it did. At least Mother will leave me alone for a while.
What do you mean?
She's always trying to keep me at home. Says I go out with girls too much. She'd rather have me praying all day and night like her.
Maybe a sword fighting lesson will help you.
Maybe. But first I want to see if you have anything to teach me. Ready?
I'm not. I've only got a sharp weapon.
Really? You wanted to draw iron right away. Well, I can lend you one. But next time, bring your own. Du wirst sterben!
На тобі падло.
Nach was?
Він німецькою ще говорить.
So ein Pech. Du verdammter Mistkerl! Hier!
In God's name! Well, I hope the young lord is assured he has much to learn from me. And after a few lessons, you'll only get better.
Його то голос тихий. Чогось.
Excellent. That's enough for today. But before I go, I'd like to ask you something. What type of weapon are you most interested in?
A sword, of course. It is fitting for someone of my standing.
А як щодо сікача або тисака?
And what about a cleaver? Or a hunting sword?
Pah. A cleaver is more fitting for some yokel or bandit. Or a butcher. And a hunting sword? My father used to have a beautiful one. I don't even know what happened to it. I wouldn't be ashamed of that one. But otherwise, they are for fat burghers and poor mercenaries.
Ти колись кого-небудь убивав? Запитати мені таку фразу у нього?
Have you ever killed anybody?
What kind of question is that? Of course not.
I meant in battle.
How else could you have meant it?
And what about an axe? Have you ever held one?
No. Do you take me for a...
Enough small talk. I want you to practice.
Yes, master.
Так, що в мене за місія?
Who's that creeping around? Leave that door alone, will you?
Сорян, я просто тут.
Get out of here.
Мені треба якось її відволікти, ту жінку, да? Поки цей чувак тренується. де його кімната? Це його кімната чи ні? Ось це його кімната.
What if you hurt me with that stone, eh?
Случайно, пані.
I'm at your service, sir.
Мені треба якось цю жінку виробити. Вона мене не пускає мене в кімнату. А я можу зачекати годину? Мене досі не розлагало. Цей досі тренується. Так, давайте збережемось. Там побачимо, як далі. Так, він перестав тренуватися.
No, it needs a bit more.
What? What was that? It was nothing.
Мастер просто скрадання.
Mary, Mother of God. I hope nothing's missing. I better do.
Трофей жертв.
What the hell? That's hair. All kinds of brown. I bet it belonged to those dead girls. If this isn't proof, nothing is.
У нього трофей жертви. Вот і наш тіпочок. Спалився.
Tell me then, what did he give you for?
А ми, до речі, можемо? Ні, не можемо.
I need to discuss that visit to the Von Grollers.
Excellent.
I think we were right. Something seriously fishy there.
Well, don't keep us in suspense. What did you find out?
You found something there, didn't you? Evidence?
I certainly did. In the young lord's room.
What was it?
This. He had it in a chest in his room. Locks of hair. All brown, but all a bit different. They're definitely from those murdered girls.
Hair? But that's not enough. That definitely won't suffice as proof.
Why wouldn't it? He took them as a keepsake from the dead girls, as a trophy. It was him!
But nobody will believe us. We need more than just hair. A bloody...
To be honest, I don't think we're going to find anything like that.
Damn it. We're fucked.
And what about 3 witnesses at once?
Where are you going to find 3...
I don't yet, but... Look.
And how do you want to do that?
We'll set someone up. Some brunette.
You want to sacrifice some poor girl?
No, nobody's gonna get hurt. We'll be keeping our eye on her the whole time.
The only one I can think of is Stanya. And I highly doubt that she'd want to risk her life again.
She won't have to. I'll do it.
But you haven't had anything to do with him. He'll see through it immediately. It'll fail.
We'll wait until the lad's out of the house. Maybe we'll dress Catherine up a bit, and she'll go asking for the young lord, father of her child. When Hendel comes home and hears what happened, he'll come looking for her to fix things up.
I'll cause such a scene, they'll be talking about it for years. Then we'll tell them where he can find me, and we've got him.
If you say so. But where can we do it? We can't do it here. They'd figure it out pretty quick.
We can use one of the rooms here in the tavern. It has only one way out. You'll be hiding across the way, and jump out at the right moment. I repeat, at the right moment.
Don't worry, we won't take our eyes off you.
Цікаво. План, звісно, цікавий.
Where's Hendel? I need to talk to him! Do you hear me? I have to talk to him about our wedding. I won't be left alone with his child.
What are you screeching about, you ninny? There's no Hendel here. Certainly not for the likes of you.
Do you hear that, folks? He fucks me from all sides! Gets me with child, and now he doesn't want to know me!
Get rid of her! Disgrace!
Oh, so a poor woman has to suffer because of a man's lust? As if it wasn't already bad enough before.
What
Яка акторка
lies
просто.
are you spouting, you strumpet? Goodman Hendel never laid eyes on you. Besides, you're too old for him. Nobody will believe your lies.
Old am I? He came to me himself because he wanted a mature woman to breed with. And he never even pulled it out. And he filled me up like a wineskin. Suit yourself. I'll give you some time to think it over. But either you come up with an offer of marriage by evening, or first thing in the morning I'll go to the bailiff. And I'll be damn sure to get justice from him.
Кіт спостерігає за всім. Прикольно, що для цієї місії катсцену навіть катсцени позаробили.
It's open.
I've come to talk with you.
Where's Hendel?
Hendel, you wanton whore! Debauching my son! A nanny goat like you! The others were at least young, but you!
Це не він!
Christ, the trials I have to endure! A husband with
Це його
both feet in the
мать
grave and a
вбивала
son
всіх.
who'll fuck anything with a hole in it. Slice her up, so no one will recognize her, and in case what she says is true, gut her too.
Gutting, is it? I could help you with that.
Get that bitch, you fool!
You piece of shit!
О. Цей тип не пропав.
Fuck that!
Що, братан? Шляхетський тисак.
Catherine! Catherine, wait!
What should I wait for? I'm gonna cut that bitch's throat.
How dare you? Hands off, you heretical scum!
Shut up!
Let her speak. I still don't understand what actually went on here. I have some questions for you.
I'll tell you nothing, you serpent! Nothing!
Бля, я б тебе розрубав би, як ти
Let me go!
всіх
I'm a
змусила
woman of
вбити.
worth,
If you won't speak now, then the executioner will loosen your tongue when your feet start burning. But why wait, right? I'll cut your ear off. Maybe both of them. All you need to talk is a tongue.
No! Let me go!
Генрі про це знав.
Why did you do it, for Christ's sake?
Don't blaspheme, you heathen.
Ти серйозно? Ти поробила дівчат?
Or it's gonna hurt.
My husband, he drank a lot, ran around with whores and didn't pray enough. And God punished him for it. I couldn't allow the same thing to happen to Hendel.
And why kill those girls? Why not just talk to him about it?
I tried, but he wouldn't listen to me. He told me he wanted to sow his wild oats before finding a wife.
So your own son didn't listen to you? And you started killing the girls who were...
Who seduced him and emboldened him with their brazenness? If they wanted to whore themselves out, they'll pay for it in hell. But there's no way they were going to drag my Hendel there with them.
And what about Hendel? Did he know what you were doing?
That I was taking care of his immortal soul and eliminating his temptation? Of course not. But one day he'll be grateful to me for it.
He's going to jump for joy. His mother a mad woman, and his servant a murderer.
Speak politely to me, you whore.
Henry, if you have any more questions, you'd better ask them quickly. I'm sorely tempted to finish this here and now.
And what about the hair in Hendel's chest? You're trying to tell me he wasn't involved, but he was keeping their hair?
Well, he kept asking about those whores of his. So we always brought him a lock of hair. We told him it was from them, as a parting gift.
Well, he didn't find that strange?
Out of sight, out of mind. He always found some new harlot anyway.
There was no blood where Alice was found. Where did you kill them?
That was up to Thaddeus. He told me something about an abandoned barn. I only told him to cut them up thoroughly.
Why?
Why? As a warning. So those whores knew what awaited them.
Боже, яка хвора на
Fear
голову.
of God in them.
Do you realize you also killed girls who had nothing to do with Hendel?
That's not possible. I saw them all with my own two eyes, chatting with him and giggling.
And what about that alehouse wench?
That strumpet. I saw how she treated him. It's a damned shame she got away.
But she really had nothing to do with Hendel.
She wouldn't have smiled at him the way she did if she didn't want to fornicate with him. They all deserved it. Every single one. And better sooner than later. That trollop in our service even got herself with child. And she wanted to keep it. The slut.
And what about Zdenna? All she did was rob him, and you killed her anyway.
She fawned over him like all the others. He even gave her a ring, which she probably sold immediately. She deserved it. She was a thief, and stealing is a mortal sin.
I'd better stop asking questions.
Burn in hell, all of you.
What'll we do with her now?
Let's take her to the bailiff. She'll get justice there.
We don't have to go anywhere. I'll give her justice right here, right now.
But we can't do that. She has to go before the court. The law must be upheld.
Did you hear her? I mean, she hasn't got her head on straight. And what judgment will there be? She's from a wealthy family. Nothing will happen to her.
Don't you dare judge me. Only God can do that.
Shut your mouth, you sow. You judged and punished some random girls. And now you'll blaspheme like that?
Our Lord directed me. I did it through His will.
Do you hear that? And you want to let her live?
But that's not justice. It's murder. Henry, won't you say something?
I told you, don't you dare judge me. I am a servant of God.
Так, що ми з нею робимо? Ми її вбиваємо тут, чи передаємо її катові? Я б зберігся, подивився, що буде з катом. Якщо кат її вб'є, то окей. Але якщо вони її не вб'ють, я би загрузився і вбив би її нахрен. Ну, але я не знаю, що б ви вирішили би? Ну, вона взагалі йобнута. Але ж, типа, ми тут законники, ми ж не можемо бути, як вона. Сказав я весь в крові. Ну, давайте спробуємо.
Put away that knife, Catherine. We'll hand her over to the law.
Don't tell me you'd let her get away with it.
She's not going to get away with anything. She killed so many people. If she's lucky, they'll just hang her. If not, she'll be buried alive.
That's right. We caught her in the act, and she's confessed to us. They can't just let her go.
Of course they can. It's I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You'll see that all these rich burgher and lords have their own justice.
That won't happen. I guarantee you she...
You can't guarantee a thing. You're not the bailiff and you won't be judging her.
She's right, though. We can't just let her out into the streets. She must be punished. And if not, then you can always go and pay her a visit, right? You know very well who she is.
All right then, you last of the righteous. Take that viper away and may God protect you if they set her free.
Don't worry. I'll take her away.
Well, this was a lot stranger than I expected. Do you think we did the right thing?
I'm not sure of anything anymore. Not even myself. Can we just be quiet for a while?
As you wish. But still, it was damned odd.
Aye, that it was. Let's go and see Lumia. I wonder how he fared.
Okay.
Tell us, Lumiere. How did it turn out?
Did it end well? Oh, we're not going to get into trouble now, are we?
It ended well. And I didn't even tell anyone about you.
And how did it go? Did she try to blame it all on her dead servant?
Not at all. She started screaming how she hadn't done anything wrong. That those Czech whores deserved it.
Fucking shameless bitch. The nerve.
I think it's more likely she's gone mad from it all. No sane person will consider that a defense of their actions.
A sane person doesn't kill random women walking by.
Exactly. And what do they plan to do with her?
They're discussing it, and will surely continue to do so. Maybe they'll execute her, but more likely they'll lock her up somewhere and let her fester.
I told you so!
She won't escape punishment, and won't hurt anyone else again. Maybe she'll live, but now they can't pretend nothing happened.
And what will you do now? Will you go back to the town hall, Lumiere?
It's true I've made amends in the eyes of the law, but I probably won't go back now. Maybe better to write something about it. Who knows?
Won't you go back to drinking?
No, it didn't help anything, did it? If I had just persevered instead, I should have pitied those girls, and not myself.
Don't fret. It was a terrible mess, and all three of us had to put our heads together.
Yes. You helped me when I was in need, and didn't even know it. Maybe I'll just keep helping as long as I can.
Helping others is the best thing a person can do in this world.
And what will you do, Catherine? Will you stay here?
My work isn't done yet. I have to work in the tavern here, and then we'll see. Maybe I'll find work elsewhere.
Do you think we could have done better?
Everything can always be done better. But most important is to do it well and quickly.
Catherine is right. I'll still be kicking myself. Maybe to my dying day. But none of us did anything bad.
That's not entirely true.
I'm talking about innocent people. No more girls die because of you. And that's good.
Well, let's go our separate ways.
Thank you, lad. You prevented future murders. And you also saved...
I thank you both. Without you, the devil knows how it would have turned.
Here you are. As a keepsake.
Yes. Here is a reward, Henry. And Lumiere.
Мені лицарський щит дали. Окей, давайте збережемось, і якщо її завалить, Що буде? Давайте подивимося, що буде, якщо ми її завалимо.
I need to... I think we were right.
Well,
You found...
what was it?
This. Look.
Hair.
Why would...
Nobody...
To be honest.
Where it...
I don't...
And how...
We'll say...
You want...
No.
The old...
She...
But you...
We'll wait when...
Then
If you...
we can use... You'll be hiding. I...
Don't worry.
Ass kicking, you piece of shit! Catherine, we...
What? How? Shut.
I have to...
I'll tell...
If you... What?
No!
Why don't...
Come on.
My...
And why...
Who said...
And what about...
That I...
He's go... Henry.
And what about...
Well, he
didn't...
out of...
There was no...
That was... I...
Why?
What?
Do you...
That's not...
And what...
That's...
But
she wouldn't have... And better...
And what about...
She...
I better...
Vernon!
Well, we...
Let's take...
We don't know.
We can't.
Did you...
Don't you...
Shut
Our Lord...
Do you...
But that's not... Henry!
Lumiere, listen to her. If we don't deal with her ourselves, and then they let her go, then... Do you want to have that on your conscience?
But... I mean... How could I live with myself if we kill her in cold blood?
I'll show you justice. You're all going to end up in hell.
Your conscience will remain clear. You won't be the one killing her.
But still, if we don't punish her according to the law, then we ourselves deserve to be punished by the law.
Huh. We aren't the ones walking around the city killing random women. On the contrary, we're making sure no more will die.
All those whores. Hell! Lucifer everywhere! Fire and brimstone!
Та вона йобнута, її треба вбити.
It's just not right.
It isn't right, but it's necessary.
All right. All right. Do it then. But I wash my hands of it.
No! Don't you dare! You hellspawn! No!
Well, now someone has to explain everything.
Not me. I'd rather just get out of here.
I'll go. I'll explain everything. And you, Henry.
Fine.
Good. Good.
Well, do you think we did the right... Why?
Not remorse.
Doubts?
Show me a person without doubt.
I suppose you're right.
I'd go and see Lumiere.
Tell us, Lumiere.
Did it end well?
It ended well. And
I'm surprised you got away with it.
I would have preferred a different ending, but...
Lumiere.
I'm not angry anymore. And I must admit that maybe it was better this way. If they were still alive, there'd be a lot more squabbling. But... like this.
The dead approve in silence.
Precisely. I just told them I spread the word that one victim survived and where she was hiding. And I waited for them there. And when they came to kill her, we had no choice but to end it that way.
And what will you do now?
It's true I've made amends in the eyes of the law, but...
Won't you go back to drinking?
No.
Don't fret.
Yes.
Helping others is the best.
And what will you do, Catherine?
My work isn't have to...
Do you think we could have...
Everything can always be done.
Catherine is right. I'll still be kicking myself. Maybe...
That's not...
I'm talking about innocent people.
Well...
Thank you, lad.
I thank you, but...
Here you are.
Yes.
Ні, насправді нічого не міняється. Майже. Краще її захерячити. Якщо чесно, є було бажання її вбити. Ну, типа, вона взагалі там на голову хвора. Скажіть, як вам сьогоднішнє розслідування наше? Чесно, я не очікував такої кінцівки. Ну, типу, у мене була підозра, що це не він вбив, коли я запитав про тисак. І він сказав, що, типа, я тільки мечем орудую, а той, типа, якимось тисаком рубав. і який був його батька, але зник, типу, десь. І це був у цього слуги від цей тисак був. Але то, що там, типу, мамка ще причетна до того всього, і що це вона, типу, казала, щоб їх якомога жорстче порубати, це, звісно, неочікуваний був прикол.